Right now, it's
Okay, we got a countdown from the buffer and FTI. You guys know how to do this. All the math class you've been in. 10, 9. All the seniors better be lining up. 8, 7, 6. Families, please find your seats. Seniors are going to be walking through the middle aisle if you want to be able to take a picture. 5, 4. Parents, if you could please kindly find your seats. Anyone who's not seated, please sit down. Including, we have this being live fed for families that are not here or family members. So please don't block the camera towards the back. Please sit down. Four. It's like a rocket ship. 3. 2. 1. Here we go. Welcome to FTI Yeshiva's 2020 commencement addresses and graduation. Woo! Tonight we have our largest graduating class ever in the history of FTI, 18 boys. We have 16 up on stage and in front of the stage, and we have 2 that'll be joining us via Zoom at the appropriate times. Among the many lessons learned at FTI, 2 stand out to me that I'd like to highlight tonight. Throughout the whole high school, through this year, even more so the last few months, and even more so today, I think our boys have learned an invaluable lesson. There is no obstacle that stands in front of one's will. Ein hadavar oimed b'fnei haratzon. Coming into 9th grade, a young boy is going to be challenged. 4 years of high school is a long time. Difficult high school. Difficult classes. Reading a Blat Gemara flawlessly. To Rabbi Kramer's amazing Blat Bechinas. No easy task. Writing a paper up to Mr. Kansas standards. Incredible. And then this year, a couple months ago, Corona hits, and everyone's life turns upside down. Family life, schoolwork, life as we know it. And even today, the yeshiva had a major campaign. We were down. It's looking bleak. Halfway there, so it's just 50% of the goal with just a couple hours to go. But yet, through it all, I think these very impressive young men have learned that ein hadavar oimed b'fnei haratzon. You can do whatever you set out to do. You are unstoppable. And there's another point. I had a daher today, I was thinking about it before, that every moment in life is precious. Every second is precious. We all know that. We hear that. But I don't know if we fully appreciate it, at least I don't. But today during the charity campaign, I found myself constantly thinking, should I do this right now or this? Should I speak to this person or that person? Should I stop to, take care of this for the graduation or not? And I was weighing every moment because there was a lot of money to raise, a lot of things to do. And I was like, I can't do this or this or this. I have to just do this. And I realized that possibly in life, it's difficult to keep that clarity in mind. But I think one of the lessons that these chevra have learned in yeshiva is the value of our time. The opportunity that we could do something with every moment. Of course, there's time for breaks and times to relax, and you're entitled to that. But at the same time, every single moment, we could be thinking about, what could we do at this moment? Could we hop in another shtickle Torah? Could we learn a Mishnah? Could we review the Gemara? Could we do a chesed? Could we think about someone else? Could we try to help someone? All these different things we could think about and do, and it really makes a tremendous difference. As I'll say, Yafa sha'achas b'olam hazeh mikol kairas ruach b'olam haba. The opportunity we have in this world is better than all the pleasure you can get in Olam Haba. There's an inverse chazal which says all the pleasure in Olam Haba I'm sorry, all the pleasure in this world, if you pile it all on, is not even equal to one molecule of pleasure in Olam Haba. But they're not a stira, they go together. Because when it comes to the actual hana, the pleasure, Olam Haba is unimaginable. But on this world, there's something that you can't find in Olam Haba. With all the pleasure in Olam Haba, this world affords us the opportunity to take advantage of every single second. And I think, as Hashem, the boys on the stage here, the ones you're looking at, will know how to do that in life. These are boys who are going to be motivated and dedicated to steig in their learning, in midas, in musar, in chesed, in being a mensch, and they're going to realize that there's nothing that stands in the way of that, and they can continue doing that every moment of their life. Thank you. This time I'd like to call up founding Rosh Hashiva, Rabbi Shimon Max, to deliver words of inspiration to the graduates.
Thank you, Rabbi Davidus, for those inspiring words. Okay, wow. Dear graduates, you are our Talmidim. I taught almost all of you, but I truly loved you all. We fought in learning. We argued, sometimes pretty strongly. This class, in particular, gives me a little understanding of what when the Torah writes, V'shinantem levanecha, the Gemara says, Elu hein hatalmidim. As on some level, I see you as my children. You're a group of bachrim with unusual midos, truly care about each other, tremendous derech eretz to all, extremely respectful to your Rabbeim. Becoming our children means it's our obligation, our responsibility, along with your parents, to help you succeed. Please stay in touch to assist us in our obligation towards you. In this week's Parsha, Parsha Shlach, the Torah talks about the Meraglim, the spies, who were supposed to spy to scout out the land of Israel before the Jewish people entered. There seems to be an apparent contradiction. The pasuk says, Kulam Anoshim, which Rashi explains to me that they were righteous people before they set out. But then there's the famous Hekesh. The pasuk says, Vayelchu vayaviu, they went and they came back to teach us they were just as wicked when they left as when they came back. Well, which one is it? Were they righteous before they left on their job, or were they wicked? Will the true pasuk stand up? The Maral explains that before they were appointed, they were the righteous leaders of Klal Yisrael. But the second they were appointed to go on their mission, they got corrupted by the Klal Yisrael, as they knew that they were ultimately hired by the Jewish people. The Shiva asked, how? So they were influenced by the Jewish people. The Shiva asked, how can such holy people get affected just because they appointed them? Granted, the Jews had wicked intentions, but still, how can such tzaddikim fall just from that. Yeshiva Zatzal, in Yeshiva Zatzal, going to Benach Leibowitz Zatzal's older years, I heard him say something profound, a new explanation on this maral that I never heard him say before on this maral. He said that when you work for someone, you need to really find out what the boss really wants you to do. You can't just follow what the boss says. You have to find out what the boss really needs. Rashiv explained that it was precisely because of the Meraglim's supreme integrity that they failed. As the Meraglim so much wanted to understand the perspective of Klal Yisrael, and to truly do so, it required of them to almost appreciate the Klal Yisrael's perspective, so that when they scout out the land, they can truly alleviate the worries of the Jewish people. The Yeshiva Zatzal explained that once they did all that, they in fact became mushpa. And it affected them negatively, as they ended up appreciating the Jewish people's perspective just a little too much, until they actually agreed and completely stumbled and became the infamous Meraglim in this week's Parsha. MS integrity is not just a halacha or a beautiful midah, but it's a tool that Rabbi Yisrael Salanta teaches us that we need to use to fight the Yetzer Hara. We have to work on our midas ha'emes to be able to follow the Torah in all its ways. Sheker should be disgusting to us. We see what sakana the Meraglim were willing to put themselves when they were tzaddikim yet, in order to aspire to this great level of midas ha'emes. See how we also see how easy it is to become affected by others. The most righteous Kedoshei Elyon, like these Meraglim were at one time, can fall to utter destruction from not being in the right environment. I implore you, for the rest of your lives, remember to make sure you are in the right Torah environment, and to be connected to Rabbeim, Choshev Rabbanim, Talmidei Chachamim, whether it's in regard to the yeshiva you plan on attending, or the colleges you plan on going to, or places you plan on living. But yet, please always remember, you have Rabbeim who love you and truly care about you, and only wish you much bracha with beautiful lives in this world and the next. Mazel tov.
I'd like to call up our General Studies Principal, Rabbi Yisrael Meir Hoffman.
Welcome. Thank you all for trekking down here from Florida, wherever it may be, to celebrate this momentous occasion and milestone for our seniors. Throughout the ages, men have been talking, or shall we say speaking. Speeches can be really inspiring, but they can also be boring. Either way, they build character. My speech tonight is about another speech, so it's going to build a lot of character. I have here...
I'm not a faxing graduate, I'm sorry.
I have here a fascinating book by William Safire on great speeches. William Safire honed his skills as a presidential speechwriter, and according to the modest description in the book jacket here, he is the most elegant explicator of the English language. I believe his father was Jewish as well. And in this book, Mr. Sapphire has arranged many of the most inspiring speeches, eulogies, tributes, debates, trials, commencement addresses, from Demosthenes to Kennedy to Queen Elizabeth I and Thomas Jefferson. He has more than 200 oratory delights here in this book. I have not yet finished it, but I would like to share with you the outline or rudiments of a speech just as, if not more, inspiring than these. I do not know if it will inspire you. I know it has inspired me. It was given by a man who saw and experienced great suffering. He was not raised by his biological parents, and he was imprisoned for close to a decade. He gave it on a day of much rejoicing. For although there is great joy now, there will be a time when there will be a challenge to be faced, because this is what our lives here are about. In the words of Theodore Geisel, wherever you'll fly, you'll be the best. You'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest, except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true, that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. So how can you help someone be prepared for a bang-up, for a hang-up? How can you inspire someone and genuinely prepare them to face the severe challenges that lie ahead? Says Moshe, if you didn't figure it out, Moshe Rabbeinu, our very first instructor and Rebbe, the one who received our Torah from Hashem, on the day the Mishkan was built and everyone was gathered in front of it, says Rashi that Tehillim, Tzadi Aleph, Psalm 91, was a speech, or the outline of one, that he gave to all of Klal Yisrael. And I will read to you the first two psukim, as it says, Yoshev b'Seiser Elyon, one who sits, one who dwells in the shelter of the one on high of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, B'Tzel Shaka Yislonan, in the shadow, Tzel, in the shadow of the Almighty. He's almighty, he dwells. Says Rashi, if you have a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you shelter beneath his wings, that means HaKadosh Baruch Hu is your shade. He will take care of you. He will protect you. And Moshe Rabbeinu, the next pasuk, says to us, Omer la Hashem, say to Hashem, Machsi umtsudasi, you are my refuge, you are my stronghold. Elokai eftachbo, my God, I will trust in you. Rashi in Shuas explains that Moshe was giving some last advice to the Jewish people, and he was saying, treat HaKadosh Baruch Hu as you would a real being, someone who you want to have a relationship with. This is my very first graduating class of students that I know well, that I personally taught, and I believe I have a relationship with each and every one of you. I have definitely used it to my advantage in various scenarios, as I'm sure you know. Use your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, work on it, invest in it, and you'll see the advantages that come. I apologize as your general studies principal. I normally try to bring you some secular sources, but I have to be honest, and as Moshe Rabbeinu said it, I couldn't think of any better last words of advice. And finally, as you go on and you grow, please share that growth with your rebbeim, your teachers. We love to hear from you. We love to keep the connection. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu send you all much hatzlacha.
I'd like to ask our incredible Manal, Rabbi Hanania Kramer, to address the students.
With the permission of Dr. Shakui, I'd like to loosen my mask. Good evening, Baruch Hashem, Shechionu v'kiyimonu v'giyonu lazman hazeh. We're together. Thank you, Rabbi Judy. We're together. Whoever would have thought that this would happen in such an incredible fashion? I get the chills just thinking about it. A hearty mazel tov to all the parents, zaydis, and bubbies, and families that joined us, whether in person or digitally, tonight, as well as to graduates who are digital. We have been shutfim in your son's chinuch the past few years. You have taken the lead role in the past few months. We thank you for coming so we can be misameach together in this beautiful fashion. It's an honor to join you, my dear graduates, tonight, as well as the family members who have come from far and near. What's the nature of this celebration? Is it merely a 4-year survival ceremony? Don't answer. Is it simply the recognition of 4 years of arduous growth? No, it's much more than that. It's the celebration of growth that will affect your lives forever. It's the celebration of the fact that as you stand here on the cusp of entering the next phase of your lives, B'ezras Hashem, you are entering it equipped to excel and succeed as refined, intelligent B'nai Torah. This celebration is about you tonight, and I'm now going to introduce the graduates and confer the diplomas. First, our valedictorian. Moshe Davidowitz. Moshe, you are tenacious yet soft-spoken. Tenacious in your personal commitments, tenacious on the football field. Ouch. But always with a smile and a light word. You are balanced. You are very talented. A true class leader. Sweatshirts, yearbook, arranging the football games, even power washing, to name a few. Yet, in your book, Moshe, learning trumps all. It's always first. The Mishnah instructs us, Asay Toras Rakeva. The Rambam explains that v'chol ma shezulaso me'asakecha ba'acharav. Everything else comes after learning. You have doubled down, especially this year, on your commitment to learning, and all else is ba'acharav. Recently, I asked you for some video help, and you replied with enthusiasm, "Sure, Rebbe, but is it okay if I take care of it after 6 o'clock? That's when Seder ends. You have committed your life and your energies to learning as well as elevating yourself and those all around you. It's an honor to be in your presence, Moshe, and it's no wonder that you have earned with clear distinction the Valedictorian Award. Moshe Davidowitz. Okay, this is. No, thanks. Please give your attention to Moshe Davidowitz.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming. You know, this year, a lot of people didn't come, so we really appreciate those who came and made this event special. It's been 4 years of hard work and dedication from all the graduates. It's amazing what we've accomplished. The amount of time we put in is staggering. I did some research to find out exactly how much time we put in, and let's just say that it crushes the competition. Here are the numbers. The average New Jersey public school is open for 181 days a year. The average FTI year is about 198 days. The average New Jersey public school day is 6.4 hours, which is barely half of an 11.5-hour day of yeshiva. There are 8,760 hours in a year. The average public school student in New Jersey has approximately 1,166 hours of school per year. That's a mere 13.3% of the year spent in school. The average FTI student spends 2,277 hours in school, or 26% of the year. That's double public school. That also means that each of us graduates spent over 9,000 hours in yeshiva over our high school careers. And we didn't spend these 9,000 hours doing just anything. We spent them building our future. These 9,000 hours will be the basis and foundation for our entire lives. People say that the 4 years of high school are the most important years of one's life. High school is where people become who they will be for the rest of their lives. It's when people set their eternal trajectory. So much transformation happens in high school. We came in as boys, and now we're leaving as men. Literally. I'm proud to say that I can't think of a better way for me and my fellow classmates to have spent our high school careers. I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty confident that none of us knew how to learn 4 years ago. Now we know how to learn. We know how to read a Gemara. We know how to rip apart a Tosos and then make sense of it again. We know how to read a Mishnah Berurah and then tell you the halacha. We've learned countless Musar and Hashkafa concepts. We have listened to literally hundreds of shmuzin. Each one of these shmuzin has hopefully changed us forever. And I'm just getting started. We've grown tremendously in terms of Ben Adam Lachavero. First of all, just being in yeshiva provides dozens of opportunities daily for growth in this area. But more than that, we had Rabbeim to help us, constantly coaching us on how we should act and treat others. Older Bachrim, Beis Medrash guys, and even branch guys were there for friendship, to help Chazer before an Ian test, or even to help talk us through a tough personal situation. It also helped to have been surrounded by an atmosphere of growth. Everyone in yeshiva was constantly working on themselves and growing. The Rabbeim were always there to talk about anything. I won't pretend that I know half of the deep, real, very personal challenges that our Rabbeim helped guys push through. Words hardly scratch the surface of the real emes-dik, down-to-earth life lessons that we've learned. And then there's also all of our secular accomplishments. We all learned a lot and have been well prepared for advancing our secular education to the college level. I also want to mention that someone on this dais got one of the top few thousand SAT scores in the country. I could keep going, but I was asked to keep the speech to a few minutes. You know, it's getting dark. So now that we understand what we're celebrating today and how much we've accomplished, I'd like to take a moment to thank the people who enabled all this, and more specifically, enabled my personal accomplishments. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my parents. Obviously, I'd be nowhere near where I am today without them. Thank you so much. Of course, I'd also like to thank all my siblings, Morty, Akiva, Hillel, and Yosef. My life would be way more boring without you guys. I also appreciate all the opportunities you gave me to work on my self-control. Thank you. I'd like to thank my grandparents, Saba and Safta, who are watching this in Israel, and Bubby and Zaidi, who are watching this in Rochester. Thanks for all that you do for me and adding so much to my life. Of course, I'd also like to thank all my other relatives for being such a wonderful part of my life and helping me whenever I ask for it. I'd like to thank all my English teachers. No doubt I've learned a tremendous amount from each of you. I'd like to thank my fellow classmates. I'm not sure if that was going on teachers, so I'd like to thank my fellow classmates. We've had so many good times together, and you guys have left with so many memories to treasure. We went through so much together. We grew together, learned together, suffered through rules and classes together, went on trips, Shabbatons, and adventures together, and so much more. You guys are the best. I really can't believe it's all over. I sincerely hope that we can keep our friendships for many, many years to come. By the way, guys, come back to base matters next year. Most of all, my Rabbeim deserve a tremendous thanks. The FTI Rabbeim are absolutely incredible. A friend once told me that he was planning on transferring to a different yeshiva. I asked him if he chose that yeshiva because they're great Rabbeim. His response, no. If I was going somewhere because of Rabbeim, I'd stay in Cherry Hill. FTI for sure has the best Rabbeim. Our Rabbeim are just amazing people and exemplary role models. I'd particularly like to thank my Ian Rabbeim from the past 4 years. My Schmidman, Rabbi Kramer, my father Rabbi Davidowitz, and especially Rabbi Baum, who was my Ian Rebbe in both 10th and 12th grade. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I hold you largely responsible for my success in learning in Yiddishkeit. And obviously, last of all, the Borei Olam, to whom all thanks and more is due. As we say in Nishmas, Ilu finu mole shira kayom, l'shoninu rina kamon galav, ein anachnu masbikum lehodos l'cha Hashem Elokeinu. No matter what we do, we can never adequately thank you, Hashem. Thanks for listening. Mazel tov.
Okay, beautiful words, Moshe. Thank you. This year, we have, due to planning for this event, we weren't sure if it was going to be in person or not. The staff banded together and put together a video presentation, which is a little bit of a surprise. But that being said, I'm going to move a little more quickly through the graduates than I normally would, just because each graduate will be spoken about again in a video presentation. Also, Kedai Nahara, we have 18 graduates. Gewaldig. Yehuda Berkowitz. Yehuda, you are a thinker and you like a challenge. Both qualities are displayed in how you revolutionized our lunchroom in the tournament of chess. Single-handedly. Yehuda, you are easygoing, gentle, and have very impressively earned a dear spot in the social spheres, even though you joined later in the 12th grade. You're a real Ben Torah, Yehuda Berkowitz. David Blumberg. David, you're a real thinker, an Amkin. Tremendous depth. Perhaps one might say a Talmudic connoisseur. Very respectful, and due to the fact that you're an Amkin, that leads to very strong opinions. Very well thought out, yet always respectful. You walk that tightrope expertly, strong opinions, well formulated, always respectful, even when you disagree. I recall now a Shabbaton conversation that we had in what's now the tent back there. Lasted about 45 minutes, and I remember you were pushing your point, so respectful. I don't know if you did, but I walked away from that conversation inspired. David Blumberg.
I really thought that was the sun coming out. I was so happy.
Okay, yeah? Oh. Chaim Cohn. Chaim, you are an incredible human being. You have a wellspring of kochos. You are fast, very capable in learning. Yes. And as you can see, Chaim, you have a certain chen, which is so unusual and so beautiful. You're very sought after as a dorm counselor, as a tutor, as a chavrusa, and as a friend. And you have a very, very strong chukka to grow in learning and in all areas in life. Chaim Cohn. Mordechai Davidowitz. Mordechai, you are an all-around, absolutely super guy. Multi-talented, tech, music DJ, or even teaching stick shift driving techniques late at night. Morty, you can do it, and you can do it with a beautifully positive energy and attitude, sweetness and class. Yet, to many, the most pronounced part, Mordechai, of your colorful personality is your readiness to help. Whomever, whenever. Mordechai, you love to give. May you continue using your kochos to improve the lives of others in a beautiful fashion that you always do, Mordechai Davidowitz. Oh, watch. There's Nathan. Nathan Filler. I would like to ask a question. Has anybody ever heard Nathan Filler raise his voice in anger? No. Nathan, you are always soft-spoken. You are always respectful. You're always kind. The Ramban tells us, Tisnaheg tamid ledaber kol dvarecha benachas. Always speak gently. And then he says that leads to anava, which is the next step. These are qualities that you both have, that you have both, and have so beautifully. You continue along this path, it leads to greatness in midos, as he describes. You're beloved by all, and we will absolutely certainly miss you here in FTI. Nathan Filler. Thank you, sir. Nathan. Mordechai Frabowitz. Mordechai, you are the salutatorian. You are exact, you are methodical, and very creative. Not just bang bang, I don't want to say the end of that phrase, and Super Bowl betting, but also authoring, not many people know about this, 9th grade Gemara sheets, organizing the classrooms and base medrash before PTA, open house, etc. You've also created, with the Valedictorian, the 8th grade FTI trivia game, which I think will be used for years to come. You are a Gemara and a Yedios Klolios specialist, as well as a professional locksmith. Mordechai Fromwitz. On his diploma, there's a little salutatorian emblem. Shlomi Hamer. I think it would be fair to say that Shlomi, you're a Zieskite. You are light and have high levels always of very positive energy. You always have something to say. You're a true Ben Torah, and you view yourself in the proper light of that which you really are, a real, focused Eved Hashem. You have very high aspirations, and you take learning very seriously. You have an ava and enthusiasm for learning, which I give you a bracha should last your entire life. Shlomi Hamer. Alter Kamen. Alter, I think it's fair to say that your high school career can be characterized by growth. Workhorse ethic. If you just look at your attendance record, it's impeccable. Your attendance record is so impressive in light of the fact that, Alter, you have an incredible life energy. You have an energy for jokes. You have an energy for meeting sports personalities. And you have energy for just about everything that Hashem gave in this world. Yet, Alter, what I've seen the past few years is that you have earmarked most of that energy for personal growth, real, long-lasting growth. Growth in midos, growth in learning, growth in derech eretz. We will miss your jokes and your easy smile. Alter Kamen. Ochel Manos. Orel, always sweet, always respectful, always willing to lend a hand. I remember the time when 2 winters ago, I walked outside and lo and behold, my driveway was all shoveled with David Bloomberg. That's right, thank you. Aurel, you're very solid in learning, more than you realize. I recall a few times this year that your Rebbe, Rabbi Max, came out of Shir, shaking his head, saying, wow, wow, Aurel is good in learning. True story, a few times. Additionally, to be able to face adversity, Aurel, and pull through even when sometimes the going gets rough, the only thing I can say to you, Aurel, is wow, you're incredible. You did it. You did the impossible. You have a life ahead of you that is shining brilliantly. Go get them. Nes Mavora. Sorry. Nes Mavora. Where is Nes? Nes, I'm so glad you're here. You and your father made a... And mother. Made a photo finish from Florida. I'm so glad you're here. Ness, you are relaxed, you are cheerful, and you are a good friend to all. Ness, like his parents, you always invite everyone to Shabbos, barbecue, or a Super Bowl halftime Ma'ariv. Ness, you are incredible Balmidos. You are always very respectful, and you always treated your Rebbeim with high regard. You want to please, and you want to give. And you do it excellently. You have worked very hard for this diploma, and you always did it with a warm smile. Ness, it's no wonder that you were chosen for the Gershon Weider Derech Eretz Award from this graduating class, an award that recognizes your unusual level of Derech Eretz, along with your sweetness. Ness Mavora. Shlomi Mendlowitz. Shlomi, you are sweet, gentle, respectful. Yet in your quiet way, you are fiercely independent in your hobbies, in your talents, and in your viewpoints. Whether it's jumping skillfully off buildings or fiercely debating the ethical use of shots in society, it is always interesting to see, Shlomi, what you're up to. Your affinity for Chumash and Dikduk again illustrates that when you set your mind to it, there is no stopping Shlomi Mendlowitz. Shlomi Mendlowitz. Tzvi Nussbaum. That was good. Let's do it again. Tzvi Nussbaum. Tzvi, you are bright, very soft-spoken, and very, very, very clever. Hashem has blessed you with a quick, sharp mind and a gentle and very wide heart. You are professional at creating photo finishes, especially the basketball dunk. And I'm not supposed to reference being a neighbor by graduation, but I must say that when we drive by, we come outside and we see you, it's always uplifting, and I personally have learned very much from our deep intellectual conversations. And the way you give to your chaverim, the way you share the gifts that Hashem has given you, is something that we can all learn from. Tzvi Nussbaum. Tzvi Yitzchak Palmer. Tzvi, you're a real go-getter, a capable class leader. Tzvi, you are a world of passion, emotional energy, and smarts. Think about Chazdei Lev. You were the go-to guy. Always with a bright smile. Tzvi, you are a person who is impressively introspective and very nuanced in what makes the human being tick. I remember vividly, Tzvi, the multiple 2 to 3 hour-long, I would say, learning sessions for me that we had in 10th and 11th grade. I'm going to miss those. I have learned from those conversations and always valued your insights. Keep it coming, Tzvi. Tzvi Palmer. Great job, Tzvi. I'd like to point out that it's 3 a.m. right now for Ari, who's in Eretz Yisrael. But Ari, you know, like always, that to be with the Chevra is paramount, and we appreciate you joining us even at such an ungodly hour. Thank you, Ari. Ari, you love to learn, you love to debate, and you do FTI. They're going to stay there for a while. May Hashem grant you the ability to consistently serve Him with your trademark energy, smile, and camaraderie. Ari Wright. Netanel Shakui. Netanel, when I think of you, I think of a Slabotka Talmud. Well thought out, nuanced. You put tremendous effort into understanding the kochos hanefesh of both yourself and your chaverim and your relationships with them. You are conservatively elegant always in your dress as well as in your behavior. The Mishnah in Avos says, Chaviv Adam Shenivra B'Tselem. It is very apparent when in Netanel Shakui's presence that he's created B'Tselem Elokim. You act like your true essence, mirroring the Tselem Elokim, and are therefore beloved by all, as the Mishnah states. Additionally, you have a certain elevated care and focus on the mitzvahs. You daven beautifully, and you are constantly on time. It is therefore quite appropriate, Netanel, that you were chosen to receive the Iris Frankel Zrizas B'Mitzvahs Award. Netanel Shakui. Shlomo Starkman. Shlomo, you are gentle, respectful, very wise, and very, very accomplished in your learning. Your clarity and gentle decisiveness has earned the respect and the accolades of your Rebbeim as well as your Chaverim. May you continue in your beautiful ways with simcha, with focus, with ne'imus, Shlomo Starkman. Akiva Trapper. Akiva, you are a tremendous Baal Derech Eretz, a very serious Mevakesh, a very clear thinker, and you so much just want to grow. Reference the Thank You Hashem stickers in the pop sockets. Many times, Akiva, you take the lead in being mechazek yourself. You don't wait for me. If it ever happened, I'm not saying it did, but if it ever happened once that you came a little late, you came to me and you said, Rebbe, we need to talk. And Akiva was on the spot examining, being doresh, growing, steiging, and that's
special Bacher in the yeshiva. There's something about him that makes Talmidim gravitate towards him and just makes everyone feel very comfortable. I can't explain it. I myself have that feeling. It's something about just being you with your friends, being humble with your friends, and being sensitive with your friends. But to be sensitive and caring at the same time is a remarkable combination. And Mitzvah Hashem, your parents, your yeshiva, your Rebbeim will have tremendous nachas from you. I should say continue to have tremendous nachas for you. Mazel Tov Yehuda.
Yehuda Berkowitz, Valedictorian here, Mazel Tov, reaching the end of the year. And, you know, this year was certainly different than every other year, but I want you to know that it's been such a pleasure learning with you, getting to know you, growing together with you, doing the Gemara, learning the social sharim, schmoozing, and, you know, you're a wonderful person, and you have a tremendous potential. You have a whole life ahead of you. And
hopefully none of it, quote unquote, bad. But you demonstrated that you could pull out the bottom line. So I'd like to wish you Mazel Tov on your graduation, as well as Hatzlacha and Bracha in all of the future. And may your derech of finding the pshat, the way of abstracting down to the bottom line, serve you well in all of your future studies.
So much to say about Chaim, but the first thing that comes to mind is a story. It goes back to 10th grade when we were on our famous Bezor Shabbaton. We were leaving our hostess's house late on a Friday night, and as we exited to the street, we never saw a homeless man rifling through the garbage. Some of the Talmidim, being teenagers, began to snicker, say some lines, but Chaim walked out and immediately saw what was going on. Said, that's not right. He walked inside, asked the hostess for a bottle of water and a cup, and brought it to the homeless man and gave him a hearty good night. That's Chaim. It's intelligence. It's perceptive sensitivity. And the sensitive moral compass to know immediately what's right and what's wrong, and boldly and confidently lead the way.
Chaim Cohen is smart, funny, and clever. Though, of course, he's not quite as smart, funny, and clever as he thinks he is. Still, I believe his assertiveness, self-confidence, and empathy will take him a long way. I believe his natural skepticism will help him ask the right questions and separate the genuine from the fake. Chaim says that all he wants to do is be rich. I don't know if he'll become rich, and as we're not. But I do know that he'll enrich the rest of us with his out-of-the-box thinking and his sardonic sense of humor.
Mazel Tov, Morty, ever since I met you, I've always been struck by your dependability, responsibility. You're a real unusual Balachrayas. You know how to have fun like the best of them, but in such a wholesome and uplifting way that you uplift the environment and all those around you along with you. You appreciate the finer and nicer things in life, but you never lose sight of the Yesod Kihem Chayim V'Orach Chameinu. That this, you know what life is all about, and you know what will bring true pleasure and satisfaction in life. Mazel Tov, Morty.
When I was asked to offer a few words for Mordechai Davidowitz's graduation from FTI, I immediately said yes, I would be glad to. Morty entered my biology class 4 years ago as a 9th grader with a ready smile, friendly demeanor, and always ready and willing to be an active member of the class. He was constantly successful in my class and earned everyone's trust and friendship while learning about cells and microscopes. Indeed, he contributed much to the class academically and in a positive attitude. He's trustworthy and well representative of the values we're trying to instill at FTI. Well, here he is 4 years after that first period class in biology, 2 years after those tentative steps in driving, and now you're graduating from this institute and entering the next phase of your life. Best of luck to you, Mordechai Davidowitz. I'm sure you'll make us proud in the future.
Moshe is so well-rounded. He has so many milas. Learning, midot, even sports. And it's hard to know where to begin. But there's one midah that really distinguishes Moshe, and that's his ability to lead. Moshe is a true leader of men. He does so softly, quietly, without a splash. He doesn't promote himself. He's sensitive and respectful. And yet, he takes responsibility, he works hard, and he has the confidence and the strength to get the job done, even when the going gets tough.
Moshe Davidowitz is, as Mr. Kans described him, quote, a fine young gentleman, end quote. He's an excellent student with a good head on his shoulders and a strong work ethic to go with it. Teachers appreciate that kind of student. But what I appreciate more is how he relates to his peers. He is a natural leader in the classroom and out, and his classmates and friends look up to him. It's been a pleasure getting to know Moshe in my virtual classroom.
When I think of you, two tremendous leaders come to mind. First is your humility, mild-manneredness, never want the attention. It's very beautiful leader, which many of us could aspire to. And also tremendous resilience. The will, life throws at you. You meet it head on, always working hard, never giving up, always pushing through. And I should have also made them. You should have much success and happiness in life. And once you're at FTI.
Not Hiller. Winston Churchill once said, it's continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, that is the key to unlocking our true potential. And while Nathan is extremely intelligent and I'm sure very strong, it is his continuous effort that truly helps him in everything he does. Nathan, I wish you much success in all your future endeavors, and it was a pleasure being your teacher.
Mordechai Bramowitz, such a balachrayas, so driven, so reliable, always the person you know is going to be there on time for every seder. He'll help clean the Beis Medrash. Mordechai, you've been a tremendous asset to the yeshiva, and we're looking forward to continuing the relationship. B'atzlacha.
One thing that jumps out at you about Mordechai is his attention to detail. The nuances, the subtleties of really any subject are noticed by Mordechai, are appreciated by Mordechai, and are pointed out by Mordechai. Mordechai, it was a pleasure to watch you help others with your gifts, with all your kochos, and may HaKadosh Baruch Hu help you continue to do chesed and to help people and to bring merit to all of Klal Yisrael.
I can't think of you without thinking of your smile. You have tremendous positive energy, it's infectious to others. You're able to bounce off of the obstacles of life and not get thrown down. It's amazing how you're able to stay even keeled what's going on around you. It's a tremendous leader. And you'll be able to use your positive energy to uplift yourself and all those around you wherever you go in life. And it's here at FTI.
Hi, this is Mr. Middleton. I'd like to congratulate Shlomi Hamer on his graduation from FTI. I've taught Shlomi the past 2 years. He's a very clever kid, very funny. He also stands up for his rights, and I'm sure he will succeed in whatever endeavor he chooses. Congratulations.
Mazel tov, Alter, what an achievement. Alter, you never fail to amaze your Rebbeim with your remarkable resilience and tenacity, fearlessly facing the obstacles that lie in your path. You're a true hiker. Hashem bless your altar with kochos in so many different ways, so many unique kochos. And in the years ahead, Bez Hashem, you'll develop those kochos, and you'll develop into a shining light for Klal Yisrael. Mazel tov altar on your graduation, and may this celebration, which marks the completion of your years of high school, simultaneously mark the commencement of the many years of Avodas Hashem that lie ahead.
Alter is upbeat. He has a great sense of humor, which enlivens our virtual classroom. And he does all of his work, which any teacher appreciates. The guy's just easy to get along with, and I know that quality will serve him very well as he moves forward.
I often speak at graduation about our aspiring London, but I'm here to talk about Orel Manos. Orel is a London, and I know this because here he can ask the most insightful questions at lightning speed, and at the same time he also has such impeccable midos. And this combination makes me feel that we're looking forward, as Hashem, calling him in this way to a tremendous person that he is now and that he's going to be in the future. And
a man that I've seen you run into over the last couple of years, and the level of responsibility and maturity you've shown over several different disciplines and different courses in the time that we've had the opportunity to spend together. I wish you nothing but the best going forward in all that you do. Just know that you have a friend if you ever need it, and you can call on me. Good luck, best wishes, and unfortunately I wish we were able to do this in person.
Yes, Mavora. When I think about Ness, I think about the first day of Shir, when I gave out little cards asking the Bochum to tell me which person is Shir that I'd like to be chavusas with. And I've done this in the past, maybe not this way. And the first time after many, many years, I got a very unusual response from the Talmud. Ness responds, I am happy to learn with everyone or anyone. This is Ness. Loving everyone and doesn't have any negative word to say about anyone, always positive about life, positive about his well-being, positive about his parents. Just a pleasure to be around.
Hi, this is Mr. Meadowberg. I'd like to congratulate Ness on his graduation from FTI. I've taught Ness the last 2 years. This year, I had him for economics. And I was especially impressed how he would ask for extra help, and I was glad that I was able to help him. He has the best heart in the school, and I'm sure he will succeed. Congratulations, Ness.
Mazel tov, Shlomi. Shlomi, you have a tremendous ability to be passionate about things and to do what you feel is right, despite what others around you are doing. You have a tremendous ability to live in the silence, to be able to have your own dilemmas. You can do what you believe is right, despite what others going on around you. It's a tremendous leader. Many of us can't do that. And we desire to use your passion, to use your interests, and to be able to continue to do what's right, despite whatever's going on around your life. Shlomi, we'll miss you at FTI.
Hello, this is Mr. Nagelberg. I'd like to congratulate Shlomi Mendelovitz on his graduation from FTI. I was Shlomi's independent studies teacher this past year, and we had a number of amazing conversations. Shlomi has one of the most inquisitive minds I've ever met. He's a very fast learner and very quick to point out any contradictions in someone's argument. I'm sure he will succeed at whatever he does. Congratulations, Shlomi.
Sweet Nussbaum, we had the privilege of having you for a pretty short time in our share this year. It was quite obvious to us that you are truly a Yolam in every area of learning. But what was so beautiful about your learning, and what really stood out, was that your care and concern for the other Talmidim, and for just being helpful to all, with a beautiful me'imos, a humbleness, with no bragging, no airs about you, knowing you have all these qualities, Baruch Hashem, so nice and so easygoing with your Chaverim, Rebbeim. Mazel Tov to Tzvi Nussbaum, who happens to also be my dear nephew. Mazel Tov.
So it looks like tonight I get to say goodbye to Tzvi Nussbaum. Tzvi, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you as well as the rest of your family over your time here. You're a bright young man, you're very hardworking, very driven, and I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors, and good luck. Wish we could be there together to do this, but I know you're going to do great things.
So much excitement, so much fun when we're around you. You always make things, something going on, it's fun. You added so much to Yeshiva. We tremendously appreciated having you here, and we're wishing you tremendous hatzlacha and Eretz Yisrael in all your future endeavors.
One thing you have to admire about Ari is his honesty. If you ever need some real, good, down-to-earth feedback, Ari is the man. Says it like it is. You know he's being sincere. The next thing I really admire about Ari is his ability to overcome, to surmount obstacles. And I mean real obstacles, the kind of obstacles that other people would see and say, I guess that's not an option anymore. Not so Ari. Ari, he finds a way. There is no lock, no door, no brick wall. And I mean this all very literally, that will stop Ari from reaching his goal. Ari, thank you for teaching me there is always a way. And may you continue with your out-of-the-box thinking to help others, do chesed, and serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu in your emistic way. Hatzlacha Rabba.
Tzvi, you're a lightning rod, tremendous energy, you're a natural leader. Additionally, you have tremendous drive to do what's right, to always keep growing, to see through the shaker of life, to pursue what's right. It's a tremendous leader. Hashem bless you, Tzvi, and show to use your tremendous leaders to achieve tremendous success and happiness in life. And this here at FTI.
Hi, this is Mr. Middleburg. I'd like to congratulate Tzvi Palmer on his graduation from FTI. I've taught Tzvi the last 2 years. He has a tremendous sense of humor. As a matter of fact, on more than one occasion, I've suggested to him that he try his hand at stand-up comedy. He has a very warm heart, but he also stands up for his rights, and I'm sure he will succeed. Congratulations, Tzvi.
Tano Shakui, such a soldier, always doing, knowing what he has to do, such a sense of right and wrong, a thinker, thinking about what he does, is it correct, incorrect, where could he improve, tremendous inspiration for his friends and those around him, a steady force. And Tano, tremendous hatzlacha, and we believe in you, and we're hoping to see great things from you.
And tonight I get the honor of saying goodbye to Nathaniel Shakoi. Shaq, you've worked hard to get where you are. You've never given up. You've always persevered, and I will always cherish our time spent together. You will do great things. Don't ever doubt yourself.
Shlomo joined us in 11th grade. He has so quickly become an anchor for his class and for the entire yeshiva that it's easy to feel like he's been here forever. Shlomo is loved by everybody because he's easy to love. He has phenomenal mitos, trustworthy, patient, easygoing, and a subtle and hilarious sense of humor. But most importantly, he has a willingness to share his gifts, his intelligence, his clarity with others, whether it's friends, younger Talmidim, even his Rebbeim. Shlomo, it's been a tremendous privilege to get to know the person that you are, and it's exciting to see the person that you'll become. Mazel tov.
Shlomo, Hillel in chapter 2, Mishnah 6 of Pirkei Avot states, "V'lo habayshan lameh," that one who is timid or bashful cannot become learned. I actually, in fact, always recalled this Mishnah when we were learning together, and you had no problem keeping me on my toes, peppering me with all sorts of questions, clearly indicating that you were listening and wanting to understand all of the material to the best of your ability. So I'd like to wish you mazel tov upon your graduation, as well as hatzlachan bracha in the future. And may your derech of chakira, your way of delving into and examining things, serve you well in all of your future studies.
Akiva, it's so wonderful to be able to celebrate this milestone together with you. Akiva, you're blessed with deep shukah, a real yearning for ruchnius, and you want to connect the davening and learning in a real and genuine way. It's been such a nachas to see how you've absorbed the messages of the yeshiva and how you've grown into the fine young man that you are today. You've laid the foundation for the years that lie ahead, and we hope to see you grow into a true mentor. Mazel tov, Akiva.
Akiva tried. Benjamin Franklin once said that all mankind is divided into three classes: those that are immovable, those that are movable, and those that move. Akiva is the latter. Akiva is a doer, someone who gets things done. And this trait will help him in all his future endeavors. Akiva, I wish you much success. It was a pleasure being your teacher.
Cherry Hill, middle of nowhere in New Jersey. I'm like, okay, whatever. I get there, a little uncomfortable, and then I start settling in. I'm like, this is my place, this is my jam. It's just such a comfortable environment. Everyone has your back, no matter what. Rebbeim, friends. I remember once I was struggling with this Gemara. I was learning a little after night Seder because I had a test the next day or something. I asked one of the Rebbeim if he could learn with me. He said, no, I gotta watch my kids. But if you want, come to my house. So I said, sure? He's like, yeah, come to my house. So I'm like, okay. So I go to his house, he's watching his kids, puts up a bowl of soup for me. We sit down on his couch, we start learning till like 10 o'clock. I was only in like 11th grade. But that just shows you that this is more than yeshiva. They are so devoted. And the same goes for the teachers and everyone. Just best guys. They're just so loving and warm. You feel so comfortable there. And I love FTI. I love the Rebbeim. I love everyone. I love the guys. This is my own.
Hey everybody. One thing I'm going to talk about Cherry Hill is hanging out with everybody in the dorms, the dorm trips, the tap outs, getting us to tap out on the ski trip. All those stuff.
For that, I really have to say thank you first and foremost to my amazing Rebbeim. I don't know how I would have done it without you.
The teachers, the guys. But I just want to take a main focus and thank the Rebbeim, literally from the depths of my heart. The amount of patience and the amount you invest into each and every time in yeshiva is unreal. It's literally not real. It's mind-blowing how even when you have your own families, you treat every single guy in yeshiva like it's your son, and I'm talking about every single one in yeshiva. And it's definitely a life lesson I'll take away, to just see how people can just be so giving and so kind. And I just want to say hats off to all the guys really.
You guys have been such an inspiration for me. You guys taught me what I needed to know now, where I need to be. All the teachers, Mr. Weiss, he's the only one that had 3 years in a row. I just want to say thank you.
Take this time to say thank you to all the Rebbeim and teachers for everything that you have done for me. I would like to share a story that I found was truly inspiring, and it really shows the amount of dedication that the Rebbeim have toward the Talmidim. There was a point throughout my high school years where I wasn't present in the yeshiva, and each week that I wasn't present, I got a phone call from the Rebbeim at least twice a week to see how I was doing and pushing me to come back. And for that, I'm truly grateful, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the Rebbeim. I would especially like to say thank you to my parents for always being there for me, for the good and bad, and I cannot express my gratitude in words, how much that means to me, and I will forever be grateful.
And the Rebbeim and the teachers for getting us to this moment. We made it, we're graduating. Woo! So one of my favorite memories of FTI is our winter and spring trips where we would get together, go either skiing or paintballing, and just create great memories hanging out with the guys. And so like, one of these experiences I'll take with me for the rest of my life. And one of the lessons that I'll take with me for the rest of my life is the Hudson way of approaching things. Like the way they approach the Gemara is everything needs to be examined, everything is looked at with excitement, and every little piece counts. So you can apply that same lesson to life. Every little thing counts and is exciting. You just like look forward to everything. And thank you everyone. Hi, I'm Shlomi Nimmer. I just wanted to thank the yeshiva staff for helping me grow. I wanted to thank the Rebbeim especially for creating the kasha between each Talmud. I feel that I grew a lot. I think a lot of other people grew. And I really want to thank you guys for helping us out and letting us, showing us the Torah way. Also, I wanted to thank the secular department in the yeshiva. They're also very good teachers. I've learned a lot also from them. And I want to thank all you guys. I want to thank my friends. And you guys are awesome.
My name is Steve Palmer. I joined the FTI family in 10th grade. I want to say thank you. Thank you to my Rebbeim for teaching me a new life lesson every single day and pushing me to read that one extra line of Torah. Thank you to my English teachers for always caring about me no matter what, never giving up on me, and even if I was a bit of a troublemaker, you stuck with me. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to my Menalim. Thank you so much for being my role models, for never ceasing to amaze me, and how much love there can be between a Talmud and his Rebbe. Thank you to my friends and family for always being there for me no matter what, constantly helping me push past my limits and helping me exceed new goals. If there was one thing that being an FTI taught me, was how to be real, how to really be me and not what other people want me to be. And that's something that I'll hold with me for the rest of my life. And for that, I wanted to say thank you.
Try to go back to your exact seats. Not right now. So while everyone's getting back to their seats, I wanted to recognize our former General Studies Principal, Mr. Fred Brockman, who's here tonight. And then you heard so much. I mean, almost every single graduate, I think every single one, was talking about their Rebbeim and their teachers and how much they appreciated them, which you may say they have to say because it's their graduation, but I don't think they would have to say that much and that often. So I just wanted to take a moment also to recognize who are all these amazing, incredible Rebbeim that our Bachromer is so thankful to, and the yeshiva is so thankful to also for putting in Leiv and Nefesh, Mamish, to not only these boys, but to all the Talmidim in the yeshiva. So we have Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Max, and Rabbi Juni, Rabbi Hananya Kramer, who we heard from tonight, Rabbi Hoffman, who's the principal in the general studies, in alphabetical order.
Rabbi Davidowitz.
In alphabetical order, first the Rebbeim, Rabbi Ari Baum, Rabbi Hirsch Hollander, Rabbi Aaron Uni, what did you say, Morty? Rabbi Yitzchak Schmidman, Rabbi Moshe Strasfeld. Incredible group. On the general study side, Mr. Isaac Bloom, Mr. William Feeney, Mr. Barry Nagelberg, Mr. Michael Nealon, Mr. Curtis James, Mr. Alan Slutsky, our music instructor, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Teichman, Dr. Howard Uterman, and finally Mr. Marty Weiss. At this point, I'd like to call up our Rosh Masifta and Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Chaim Juni, to give closing words before the boys walk back out.
We'll keep it very, very short. When David HaMelech was giving his farewell to Shlomo, who was about to take over as king, he said, you should be strong, v'yisa ish. You should be a man. I think Rashi explains what does being a man mean. It means to be shayel eitzah, to seek counsel. It's a leaving message, a super important leaving message for life, for all of us is, we have to always ask advice from people who are wiser or just have more life experience. Many, many times in life where we think we'll know things clear enough to make really, really big decisions, but we have to find people who we look up to, people who we trust, and who have more knowledge than us, and seek their counsel. As far as the older Rebbeim was mentioned many times, we all have tremendous, real feelings of love and appreciation for each one of you. You've been amazing. You have tremendous kochos. We love you with your strengths and with your challenges, and we're always here to. But whether it's from yeshiva or out of yeshiva, we all have to find people that we seek advice for. Mazel tov, and may we all see tremendous, tremendous bracha from everyone, and may each one of us bring a tremendous kiddush Hashem to Klal Yisrael. Mazel tov.